Hi. Uh, can you share your screen, please? Okay. Thank you. Yes. Yes. Uh, I think the same. I put a comma between before but. Uh-huh. After otherwise. I instead of semicolon, I wrote period, but I think that both are correct. Yes. uh, yes. Due to the weather is bad, I'm going to stay home. Even if the weather may change, I don't want to go to the picnic. Um, I put a comma between bad and I'm going to stay home, and then a period before even if the weather, a comma between the last two sentences. Mm, so, do you agree? Okay. In the beginning, due to the weather is bad. Mhm. 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 I chose therefore. Sorry, no. Uh, I didn't. Mm, uh, I mean, I wrote even though the children had eaten lunch, comma, they got hungry in the middle of the afternoon. Um, then I put a period. uh, Therefore, I took them to the market so that they wanted to get some fruit for a snack. before we went home for dinner.
Before
The,
you went home for dinner. Yeah, yeah.
the only with connector that confused me a little is so that
Hmm. Don't worry, for me too.
okay.
So we can continue with the number five.
Okay.
Robert is totally exhausted after playing tennis. Margie isn't even tired. She ran around a lot more during the game. Um, do you remember what is the meaning of weirdness? What is?
I think it's like a pesar de.
Okay.
Um, let's see. Uh,
Mm,
it's mientras que. A pes-
okay. So Robert is totally exhausted after playing tennis. Semicolon. Whereas, Maggie isn't even heated. Point in spite of the fact that she ran around a lot more during the game. I think.
Mm, I wrote whereas in the beginning, but I think that it's correct also the way you said that, like between the two sentences.
Interesting
I
question.
mean, I don't think that it sounds weird, so maybe both are correct. I'm not sure.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Hmm. Well, um,
Mm,
so what do you think?
no, I think that you're right.
Well,
Okay. Um, number six, I wrote many animals are most vulnerable to predators when they are grazing, while giraffes are most vulnerable when they are drinking. Consequently, they must spread their legs awkwardly in order to lower their long necks to the water in front of them. It is difficult and time consuming for them to stand up straight again to escape a predator. However, once they are up and running, they are faster than most of the predators.
yeah, 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 yeah. I think that it's the correct structure.
Okay. This is clear.
So,
Oh, closing.
number seven, I was obsessively afraid of two things. Um, even though it's sick and I can take medication, after all, the color I carry the first month is so weird because I may not get vacation in the fall either. Nah, if I will be angry, I know.
Is anybody going to record the lesson?
Yes, teacher, can I? Sorry.
Say, So let's check. Start video. Start screen. All right. Well, so Monse, what is your solution to number 2?
Yes, teacher. If you may really mean what you say, comma, I will give you one more chance, period. But, comma, you have to give me your best effort, semicolon, otherwise, comma, you will lose your job.
This is what you said.
Yes, teacher.
Does everybody agree?
No, with the comma
No.
after but.
Not the comma after but. It's not very canonical. So, as I said, I don't recommend doing experiments in the exam. Be careful. So, what punctuation should we use with but?
There's a chance, comma, but
Exactly. So,
you have to give me your best effort.
effort. Uh-huh.
Otherwise,
Mhm.
you lose your job.
Mhm. So the rest of the punctuation is okay now.
Yes.
So be careful with this. And now, there is a little problem. In the original set of sentences, the idea of probability or possibility is expressed with may. But in the new version, what word serves that purpose?
Again, teacher, I don't catch.
In the original set of sentences,
We
the
have
word may expresses possibility.
okay.
But in the new version, how do we express the possibility?
With if,
With if. So we have to drop may. It's impossible.
okay.
So if you really mean what you say, I'll give you one more chance, blah, blah, blah.
If you, yes, I got with if you.
Mhm.
Yes.
Is
If
it
you
clear
may
for
really
everybody?
mean what you say, comma, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Does everybody understand?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
thank you.
Yes.
Okay. Does anybody have a different version for number 2?
Yeah. I put a period before but. Is it possible or?
It's what Montse had. So you had exactly what she had. This but.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
It's not very canonical, I think. In addition, she had a comma.
Yeah, the comma is now.
You don't have a comma. That's good. But it's not very canonical. I don't recommend that in an exam.
Okay.
I wouldn't recommend that at all in a TOEFL or in a CAI or in an IELTS exam. Not at all. Don't experiment with that.
Okay. Thanks.
Any other question about number 2? Any other solution that you may have found?
Is it okay otherwise between semicolon and comma?
This, the way it is,
Yes.
The others. Did you understand Ignacio's question?
Could you repeat that again, please?
Could you please repeat your question, Ignacio?
My point is that I haven't seen before otherwise between a semicolon and a comma.
Mm-hmm. So the others, what do you think? Otherwise is correctly situated between a semicolon and a comma or not?
Yes, because
Yeah, this is exactly
Yeah.
what we have studied. This is what we have studied. Otherwise is a conjunctive adverb, and conjunctive adverbs take this punctuation very naturally. If you check well, in a moment we are going to revisit Smolser, where we studied run-ons and fragments. You are going to see this again. So this punctuation is fine. Any other question? No?
no.
Okay, so let's continue. Sire, number 3, please.
Okay. Oh, I have two versions of this, but I will say
Well, the homework is to have exactly experiment and check the problems and try to find what happened. Mhm.
I will say what I think it is wrong. So I'm going to stay. Yeah, I'm going to stay at home due to the bad weather.
So you change the order.
I think yes. Well, yes, I did. Yes, I
Okay.
did.
First problem. It's not impossible, but you are complicating your life.
Okay.
So you want to say at home. I heard at.
No, I'm gonna stay home.
Okay, so
I don't know. Both are correct or mean different.
you don't need to say at because home is an adverb. Believe it
Okay.
or not. When you say I'm going home, you don't need a preposition because home is an adverb. Where are you going to? Home. Home is an adverb.
Okay.
It's not only a noun. So I'm going to stay home. Why?
But you say experiment with this sentence. Well, stay home due to the bad weather. Weather,
Due to the bad weather. Mhm.
which even if may change, comma, I don't want to go to the picnic.
That's it, right?
Yeah, that's it.
Ajá. ¿Puedes traducirla, por favor?
Me voy a quedar en casa debido al mal clima, el cual, en dado caso que cambie,
Ay, tampoco te pongas tan liberal.
okay, el cual, si cambia,
Incluso si cambia, pero,
cual-
pero aquí le tienes que poner este may, porque tú le dejaste el may, entonces tienes que traducirlo.
el cual incluso si es posible que cambie.
Pues no sé, pues, es una cosa ahí rara que tú pusiste. Por eso quiero que la traduzcas para que tú sepas qué estás poniendo.
Okay. So,
El cual, incluso si puede que cambie, ¿qué?
el cual si es incluso que puede que cambie, no voy a ir al picnic.
Ajá. ¿Necesitas comas en algún lado o no?
I think because even if it's a subordinate conjunction, so
Yes, but according to your intonation, I have a comma here and here.
okay.
Okay. So let me remind you. What is an alternative to commas?
Paréntesis.
Paréntesis. Not a paréntesis, porque no nomás voy a poner uno, ¿no?
Okay.
¿No? paréntesis in plural because I need to. ¿Ok? Entonces vamos a ponerlos para que veamos qué pasa. Entonces, este por el momento no lo leas. Y otra vez tradúcelo. Saltándote eso porque tal y como está, es opcional.
Without which, no? I mean,
No, el which está fuera de la coma. Aquí había una coma y aquí había otra.
okay. Bueno, okay. Voy a quedarme en casa debido al mal clima, el cual no voy a ir al picnic.
¿Verdad? O sea, el cual, porque este es un complemento, ¿no? Podría estar ahí o podría estar acá. ¿Estás de acuerdo?
Sí.
Entonces, el cual no quiero ir al picnic, incluso si cambia, ¿verdad que no queda?
No.
Entonces, no le agregues ese which, estás complicándote la existencia de formas innecesarias. No metas relative clauses. So, I'm going to stay home due to the bad weather. And then what do I need?
In the second version, I wrote a period.
Period.
Even if the weather may change. Well, as you said, we don't need may, even if
exactly, because we have exactly the same phenomenon. Even if the weather what?
Change.
I change, you change, the weather
changes.
Estos suena una sílaba adicional. Changes. Entonces, even
if the weather changes, comma, I don't want to go to the picnic. I don't want to go to the picnic.
Okay, is this possible? Students, the rest of the group? Are you there?
Yes.
Yes.
Do you think this new version is correct? Is possible or not?
Yeah.
Yes, I think
it's possible.
it's possible.
Yes, I think so. Or yes, I think it's possible. So remember, this if is going to replace may. And now we need the conjugated verb. The weather changes. Did anybody respect the original order of the sentences or of the ideas?
Me.
Yes, me too.
Okay, Laura?
Okay. I don't know if it's good. Due to the weather is bad, comma, I'm going to stay home. Even the weather changes, I don't want to go. Sorry.
Weather is bad. Comma?
Comma. I'm going to stay home.
I'm going to stay home. And then?
Comma. Even if the weather changes.
Even if the weather changes.
I don't want to go to the picnic. Missing a comma and change.
There is a comma missing?
Yes.
Where?
Changes.
After changes. Okay. We have two problems in this version. Can anybody tell me where the problems are?
At the beginning.
Maybe a period between home and ever. Even.
What kind of problem is that if we need a period? Y no es even.
Comma splice.
Este sí se pronuncia seven. Sí. Seven. Pero esta, pues se pronuncia
even.
It's a period.
Even. This is a comma splice, right?
Okay. So it's a
So we
period.
need a period.
A period and capital letter in it.
Capital letter, exactly. So this is the first problem.
Okay.
There is another more serious problem. Both are serious. What
Okay.
kind of word is to?
It's a preposition. And
A
she's in
preposition. So
sentence.
do to is a preposition. And what
Do the word.
is forbidden after a preposition?
Verbs.
No.
No.
Both sentences?
It's not the best way to see it. Because you can have a sentence, but what you cannot have is, look at this. I'm going to give you this. So after the preposition, I have a sentence.
Okay.
So, no es por eso yo nunca les he dado la regla así. Yo les he dicho que lo que está prohibido después de una preposición es que. ¿Qué será? What is the subject of this sentence?
Weather.
I.
I.
Right.
So immediately after the preposition,
Oh,
I don't have the subject. What
Okay.
is forbidden is to have a subject. So here I have a sentence, but what is the subject for the verb to be?
They were.
Weather. So this is the subject. So I cannot have subjects after a preposition. That is a restriction.
Okay.
Remember, no subjects after prepositions. No subjects after prepositions. Which is not the same as saying no nouns. Because a noun there are many parts of speech: nouns, pronouns, verbs, adverbs, etc. And a different thing is parts of the sentence. The parts of the sentence is subject, verb, object, complement. So what I can have a noun after a preposition, but what I cannot have is a subject. Is it clear?
Okay.
So for this reason, in his solution, Sayers proposed the bad weather. We can have a noun, weather. So we drop this and we put the adjective before.
Okay.
To
Do the
bad weather.
do the bad weather. I'm going to stay home.
If the weather changes, I don't want to go to the picnic. So due to is a preposition, and prepositions don't take subjects.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, teacher.
You're welcome. Any other question about this one? No? Okay, so let me do something. Well, I'm going to erase this. And I'm going to make this a little bit smaller. Sorry.
teacher, I have a question.
How about what?
I have a question.
Yes?
Can we change the last sentence?
I don't want to go. I don't want to go to the picnic. And comma, even if the weather change.
Hold on. This is the subject, right? This is the verb. All this is the object of the verb want. And this is the k. Is this construction okay?
No.
No. The comma is okay when I change the position of the complement. But when it is at the end, this comma is not necessary. So if you want to produce this sentence, you don't need this comma.
Okay, teacher. Thank you.
You're welcome. So let me this. Make this a little bit smaller. Something like this, because I need space for my next answer. Okay. Number 4, Jessica.
Okay. Even though the children had eaten lunch, comma, they got hungry in the middle of the afternoon. Period. Therefore, comma, I took them to the market so that they wanted to get some fruit for snack before we went home for dinner.
Does everybody agree with this solution?
Yes.
There is only one little problem here. Let me see if I can explain this to you. Let me try to erase this. They already wanted to get some fruit. So this sounds a little bit strange. Do you remember the meaning of so that?
Para.
Entonces suena raro, ¿no? Que los llevé al mercado para que quisieran.
Sí.
Para que quisieran querer una fruta. Si ya la querían, ya tenían hambre. Entonces, el wanted sale sobrando. And we can use could so that they could get some fruit. Is it clear?
Okay, thanks.
Does anybody have any different solution? No? Well,
No.
if no more objections or versions, let's continue. Victor, number 5.
Robert is totally exhausted after playing tennis, whereas Marge isn't even tired in spite of the fact that she ran around a lot more during the game.
Isn't even tired? Can you say the last part again, please, for me? Victor?
Even tired in spite of the fact that she ran around a lot more during the game.
Does everybody agree?
Yes, but I have a question.
The others, does everybody agree?
No.
What do you disagree with?
I dropped the first comma before whereas.
The only comma, no?
Okay, the only comma.
The only comma. You dropped the comma. Why did you drop it?
Because I think that whereas is I don't know what word is, but whereas is a connective between the two sentences.
It's a subordinating conjunction.
In what function? Subordinating conjunctions introduce
in the beginning?
Complements. No. If it is at the beginning, you need a comma. This sentence has this form, subject, verb. In this case, it's not an object, it's a predicate adjective. Then we have, look. Okay, this is the subject. This is the verb. This, after the verb to be, we don't have objects. We have adjectives, like I am tired, or nouns, like I am Marta. So this is, the name of this thing is predicate adjective. Then, after playing tennis is what? What kind of information are you obtaining?
Complement?
It is a complement of time. But what about this?
The time where it isn't even tired.
What information do you obtain with whereas March isn't even tired?
A contrast.
It's another complement. It's a complement of concession. So this is complement 1, this is complement 2. And what kind of information do you obtain with this one?
Another complement.
Another complement of contrast or concession. So this sentence has this form. In other sentences, maybe we have this. So when you have the complement at the end, you don't need commas. No. Only when you move the complement to a different position, for example, this. C3, sorry. In that case, sorry, not this one. C1, C3. This one needs a comma, but the others don't. So here, officially, we don't need a comma here, we don't need any comma here, and we don't need any comma here. Because they are complements of time, reason, concession, place, but they appear at the end of the sentence. And the end of the sentence is the normal place for this kind of complement. So we don't need punctuation. It's not so terrible a problem as if you produce a comma splice. It's different. If you write a comma here, I probably will penalize you with half a point. If you produce a run-on sentence, like the one we had in the other case here, in that case, I will penalize you deducting a complete point. So run-ons and fragments are more serious than just a comma. Okay?
Okay.
Yeah. So let me erase this. Did anybody put the word whereas in a different position?
Is it possible in the beginning?
Yes. If you start with whereas Robert is totally exhausted after playing tennis. What?
Comma.
Comma.
March isn't even tired.
In spite of?
In spite of the fact that blah, blah, blah.
I ran a lot more during the game.
In fact, I prefer this one. That this collection of 3 complements at the end. It's a little bit heavy. I prefer the other version, but both are possible. Okay?
Okay.
And in this case, yes, the comma is okay because I am putting the complement of contrast at the beginning. Solo se los comento. Si ustedes aplican estas bonitas reglas a su español va a mejorar considerablemente. Pero al revés no. Si ustedes tratan de transferir las reglas del español al inglés, van a tener muchos comma splices y run-on sentences. Entonces, no. Mejor hagan al revés y van a ver que su español se va a leer mejor y en la escuela sus profesores van a decir, mira, que te quedó muy bien tu ensayo o tu examen o lo que sea. Well, number 6. Odette.
Many animals are most vulnerable to predators when they are grazing, while giraffes are most vulnerable. Giraffes are most vulnerable when they are drinking. Period. Consequently, comma.
El acento va acá.
Consequently, comma, They must spread their legs awkwardly in order to lower their long necks to the water in front of them, comma. It's difficult and time-consuming for them to stand up straight again to escape a predator.
Aquí se vio algo que quiero que a ver si me creen. O sea, y si hay alguien aquí que estudie psicología o esté haciendo su doctorado en psicología o en neuropsicología, puede hacer su tesis de esto. O sea, si yo los corrijo, por ejemplo esto, ¿no? Que dije, ella dijo predators, yo le dije predators, y ella solo repitió a partir de aquí. La próxima vez que dice la palabra, la vuelve a decir mal. En cambio, si repite desde el principio de la oración, la próxima vez que lo dice, lo va a decir bien. No se sabe por qué ocurre ese fenómeno, pero está demostrado. Si ustedes quieren hacer su tesis de doctorado de eso, adelante. Le harán un gran aporte a la humanidad. Entonces, cuando yo les pida que corrijan, váyanse hasta el principio de la oración, aunque les dé flojerita, porque así sí se ancla en el cerebro la forma correcta. No se sabe por qué, pero así es. So, Odette.
Yes.
They have to spread their legs, so you say it is difficult
and time-consuming for them to stand up straight again to escape a predator. Semicolon. However, comma, once they are up and running, comma, without comma, they are faster than most of the predators.
Right.
Predator.
Okay. Does everybody agree?
No.
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 Do you disagree completely or just in some of the solutions?
Some of the solutions.
In some.
So, which one requires the most urgent intervention?
Consequently,
Consequently. Where should it be?
I think that between sentence C and D.
So, what punctuation do you suggest?
Semicolon after C, consequently, comma.
¿Cómo dije que se pronunciaba?
Consequently.
Consequently.
A ver, va. O sea, ¿cómo lees esto?
Consequent.
No.
Consequent.
Okay. Consequent. Y cuando le pones el li, el consequent sigue siendo el acento. Consequently.
Consequently. Okay. Consequently.
Ajá. So, and then what did you do? Did you keep all the rest like that?
Consequently. Yes, it's consequently.
Yes, consequently.
Okay. Comma. It's difficult and time consuming.
So, something important that I strongly recommend to pay attention to is to never have too many semicolons and commas.
Okay.
Don't do that.
So maybe
what is a good semicolon and what is better as a period?
Before consequently, a period.
Yes, definitely here, the period would be better. Okay. Now, did anybody use different position for while?
In the beginning.
At the beginning.
Beginning.
This is not exactly as the... sí tiene que ver con el Timmy ring. Pero ¿cómo lo ponemos? Okay. I don't know if you understand. If I put this while here, I am informing my reader or my interlocutor that I am not going to talk about all animals. My focus is on giraffes. Do you agree?
Yeah.
Yes.
Todas las otras oraciones son sobre las jirafas.
Sí, claro.
O sea, como que ya me deshice con este while, ya me deshice de los otros animales de la selva. Ya. Te concedo que son importantes, pero pum, ya los saqué del cuento. Y entonces todo lo demás es sobre las jirafas. Todo lo demás. En cambio, si yo pongo while aquí, aunque gramaticalmente está bien, en la coma, por supuesto, parece que de lo que voy a seguir hablando es de los animales, no de las jirafas. ¿Sí me explico?
Sí.
O sea, a las que estoy sacando así, a ver, salte, es a la jirafa. Y voy a empezar, ya voy a hablar de todos los animales. Y no es así. ¿Ok? Entonces, la posición, gramaticalmente las dos se pueden, pero lógicamente es mejor aquí, por todo lo que viene a continuación. Yes, students?
Okay.
Okay.
O sea, y yo ya sé que este day son las jirafas y todo ya gira en torno a las jirafas. Ya me deshice de los otros. So be careful. Well, any other question about this one? No? Okay. So let's see, number 7. Sandra.
Even though my boss promised me that I could have 2 full weeks, it seems that I can take my vacation after all, because I have to train the new personnel this summer. Period. If I may not get a vacation in the fall either, I will be angry.
Okay. Let's correct the pronunciation. So, no es promise, el acento va aquí y es promise.
Promise.
No, nada de promise, o sea, es promise.
Promise.
A ver, o sea, una de las mayores diferencias que hay que aprender entre el español y el inglés, una es cómo se hacen las preguntas, que es algo que vamos a revisar, ¿no? Y la otra es la pronunciación. O sea, en español, ¿no? Si yo tengo algo como esto, bueno, voy a poner todavía más largo. El español es muy estable, es un idioma muy estable, ¿no? O sea, una vez que yo me aprendo que en el alfabeto esta letra se llama A, ya la hice, ¿no? Porque todas estas se van a pronunciar igual. Todas. El inglés no es así. En inglés, por eso es que les pongo los acentos. Tienen que saber dónde va el acento. Por ejemplo, este. Se ve la misma letra todo el tiempo, al parecer, ¿verdad? Pero no suena igual. Entonces yo tengo que saber, por ejemplo, en estas no tengo problema. No hay más que una sílaba, pues el acento cae allí. Entonces, ¿cómo suena esta?
Fat.
Fat. O sea, pongo mi boca como para decir una A, y a la hora de la hora cambio y digo una E, y mi boca se tuerce para un lado y quedo con cara de mafioso. Sí, o sea, es el sonido mafioso por excelencia. Fat, rat, o sea, abro la boca, la dejo redonda, y antes de decir la vocal, cambio mi opinión y digo una E, pero dejo mi bocota así grandota. Se tuerce para un lado, no hay opción. Ajá. Entonces, para que vean lo que pasa con mi boca. ¿Ok? Entonces, yo pongo la boca grande para decir una A y la cambio y digo fat. Se tuerce para un lado. No hay opción. Fat, rat, cat, hat. Pero esta que tiene dos sílabas, ya no sonó igual, ¿verdad? Ni estas chiquitas tampoco sonaron igual. Entonces esta yo tengo que saber, aquí va el acento, tengo que saber ciertas reglas y que se pronuncia fatal. A fat rat and a cat have a fatal match. Entonces no es para nada, aunque se vea la misma letra, no suena igual. Bueno, entonces, esta letra en el alfabeto inglés, pues sí se llama I, ¿no? Esta palabra solo tiene una sílaba. ¿Y cómo se pronuncia?
Mine.
Mine. Pero esta palabra, que tiene muchas letras en común, tiene más sílabas. ¿Dónde va el acento? ¿En la 1, la 2 o la 3?
The second.
En la segunda. Entonces, automáticamente esta ya no va a sonar mine. Es determine. Determine. Y lo mismo pasa con esta. Examine. Entonces, por eso es que les pongo los acentos. Porque ustedes solo se tienen que preocupar en inglés por pronunciar bien la que tiene el acento. Las demás se transforman esto o en esto. O sea, sonidos fodongos, relajan las orejas, relajan las pestañas, relajan la nariz y dicen Y esos son los sonidos que predominan en inglés, el y el Entonces, este es promise. Por eso les pongo el acento. Sí hay que saber cómo suena. Pero las otras las deformo al sonido fodongo que me quede más cercano en la boca. ¿Is it clear?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I hope. Entonces vamos a borrar todo este desbarajuste. So, we have a little problem here. Remember what happened when we have if? What does it replace?
May.
May. But in this case, I just cannot simply drop it. I have to replace it with something. What is that something?
A verb like don't?
An auxiliary, another auxiliary. If I do not get a vacation in the fall either, I will be angry. Y este es otra vez el sonido mafioso. Angry. Mhm. Okay? Is it clear?
Yes.
Yeah.
Did anybody find a different solution?
Do not. Do not.
No? Continue checking.
Yes, I think.
Okay.
Even though my boys promised me that I
Con el
could.
promise, les voy a cobrar ya una multa. Acabo de echarme toda una explicación, según yo muy acá. Y una explicación. A ver, even though what?
Even though my boss, I'm sorry. Even though my boss promised me that I could have 2 full weeks. Point. Period. I'm sorry. Period.
Here?
Yes. It seems that I can't take my vacation after all because I have to join the new personnel this summer. If I don't get a vacation in the fall either, I will be angry.
Okay. So your change is essentially this.
The period, yes.
Okay. What problem will she create if she has this period instead of the comma?
Fragment.
Fragment, good. All this would be the fragment because this is only the complement of concession of a sentence. So where is the rest? The rest is precisely letter B. Yes or no?
Yes, I can see it.
Okay.
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome. So the comma is essential. Well, any other question about number 7 before we proceed to number 8? No?
No.
All right. Then, Olin.
Yes, number 8. Since education, business, and government are all dependent on computers, comma, it is advisable for all students to have basic computer skills before they graduate from high school and enter to the workforce or college. Period. Therefore, comma, a course called computer literacy has recently become a requirement for graduation from Westside High School. Period. If I have those here. Well, if you want more information about this course, comma, you can call the academic counselor of the high school. Period. Comments. Okay.
Counselor. Literacy. Okay. Is it clear?
Yes.
Yeah? Does everybody agree with this solution?
Yes.
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 Well, I hope so. So in the exam, you have something similar. Here, because of the lack of space, I just cross some words and the capital letters. But in your exam, you have to rewrite everything in the space provided. Well, so as you can see, this topic is closely related to fragments and run-ons. So when we studied fragments and run-ons, we didn't finish some exercises. So let's check that now. We have this handout that is called SMALSER run-ons. This is something that we have already done. You see the name, SMALSER run-on sentences. So we have already done most of the exercises, but we haven't done precisely exercise 8, which will be a very useful activity for you to review run-on sentences. So here you don't, well, it's a good idea to do what they suggest. Use a slash to separate or to indicate the frontier between one sentence and the other, where there is a run-on sentence. And then propose some ways to remedy the problems. Remember that you have at your disposal punctuation plus a certain connector. The punctuation could be semicolon or period, depending on what kind of connector you choose. If you use the fan voice, you just need commas, etc. Okay? Well, so I am going to give you 10 minutes.
Sorry, what is the name of the file?
The file is called SMALSER run-ons.
Okay, thanks.
Let me know when you have found your file.
Yes, teacher, I have it.
Yeah, you have found it. Hold on. And let me have another book. Okay. Well, so 10 minutes. So try to work first individually and then compare your answers. Do you think 10 minutes will be enough?
Yes.
Well, go ahead. 10 minutes.
Sorry, do you remember what is the name of the file?
SMALSER run-on sentences. It's in the last page. Okay.
Es que me está cargando el archivo para que para que también pueda compartir la pantalla. So that we only need to put a slash.
Yes. Ah, yes. Yes. Maybe the slash it would be better between people and many. Hmm. Mhm. Yes. Mhm. Mhm. Um. mm, uh, uh-huh. Mhm. Yes. Yeah, I think it sounds good. Like some people are probably more successful in their relationships because they have qualities. The qualities essential to loving relationships. Um, and then mm, I was reading the guidelines that are um, in the other pages. So, mm, Yes, in that, yes, I agree. um,
Varios de nosotros
um,
so no. What the hell? Teacher, how I can to return my
How can I return to my group?
my with my partner?
I have no idea. You have no in somewhere at the bottom right. You don't have something when you have options like leave the meeting, go back to your group, something like that.
No, only I have the option to leave the meeting.
No, strange. Let's see what the others can say. Mhm. When accidentally you abandon your breakout room, uh, does anybody know how you can come back? Where on the screen there is an option where to click to go back to that breakout group?
No, I don't know.
No, nobody knows.
No,
Yeah. It's below in next to the button of
leaving
in the menu. Yeah.
It's at the bottom to the right or not?
Yes.
Uh-huh. So there is the option to leave completely the session, but there is the option to go back to your small group, right?
Yeah, between the button of grabar and reacciones.
Uh-huh. Yeah, can you see that?
En unos puntitos.
Uh-huh.
3 points.
Oh, can you see that? Mm-hmm. Uh-huh. So maybe, okay. Well, so let's check. So the first thing we have to agree on is the borders, where we locate the frontiers between sentences. So let's do this fast because we need to practice fragments too. So where is the first frontier? Where should I put the first slash?
The relationships.
Between relationships and they.
And here. The next one.
Problem.
People and many.
I agree with people and many.
Yeah, between people
And
The fourth
people
row.
and many here. What else? Where else?
Between communication and if.
Between communication and if. And that's all?
No, it's many problems. After many problems.
After many problems. Oh, this one?
I don't know. Yes.
Oh,
Now, this
No.
is a relative clause where we have omitted the connector.
Okay.
We can say problems that we have with other people, but the relative clause has this subject, so we can omit the pronoun. Do you remember that?
Mm.
Mhm. So this is not a run-on sentence, but there is still another one. Where?
Maybe between again and others.
Aha, it's a comma splice. Here.
Okay.
Okay, so we have these 4 problems. Now, there are several solutions. So, what can we do with the first one? Some people are probably more successful in their relationships.
Because
Because sounds like a good solution. Because, do we need commas?
no.
No.
No commas. We just write because. Because they have the qualities essential to loving relationships. The lack of these qualities is probably because of many problems we have with other people. Then what could we do here?
A period.
A period and just capital M?
Or maybe add therefore.
I would like to have a therefore here. Yeah. With a period or a semicolon, but therefore sounds like a good connector to understand that the second thing is something like a piece of advice that we are giving because of the problems that we mentioned previously. Then,
Okay.
what can we do with the comma splice?
A period.
Take away those.
I put only while others don't get along.
Why? Because these are examples. Many people do something and many people do something different. So this is part of the examples. So it's better to drop this comma and to write why. Whereas it's similar.
And is possible?
Comma and grammatically it's possible, but the quality of the connection is very weak. ¿No? Es como si para levantar un puente pusieras resistol en vez de poner, no sé, cemento. Sí se va a detener un rato, pero no es de muy buena calidad. Entonces, porque aquí estoy presentando dos fenómenos. Many people do this, while others do that. I prefer it as a contrast. But it's not impossible to say comma and. And then what should we do with the last one?
Or?
Perhaps the life would be easier if there were better communication. And then, what did you say, sorry? I heard
We
or,
can add or.
Or. Or. Here. Do Do we need commas?
Yeah, before.
No.
No.
Porque estoy juntando dos complementos.
Oh, okay.
Es la parte del complemento. Ajá. Entonces no estoy creando, no es que yo pueda tener esto como una oración independiente. Esa coma, cuando aquí yo tengo una oración. Ajá. Si yo tengo aquí un fanboy, y tengo aquí una coma, es porque aquí tengo una oración completa. Y este no es una oración completa, solo es el complemento. Tiene un if. ¿Well?
Is it possible to use they were better at communication and more honest about their feelings?
If they were, so you omit many things.
Yeah. If they were, I drop if they were.
Okay, you can say or and, either one.
Okay.
But no comma. Is it clear?
No. Yeah.
Yes, it's possible.
Thanks.
Okay. Do you have any questions?
No.
No? Okay. So, the same way, we have a file called Smallser Fragments. We did most of the exercises, but then there is exercise 7. So in this case, we don't have to find the borders. We need to find the fragments. So the instruction is underline all fragments. And then you have to make additions or connections so that you can create a correct paragraph. This one is a little bit longer. So you are going to have this for homework. Oops. Homework. Plus something that I have recently uploaded to your Google Classroom, which is, let me see. Under the section questions, I uploaded this material called Crickets. And you will find this file. This is something like the kind of activity you will have in the exam. So you have a text and you have the answers, but you have to write the questions. Okay? So this is also going to be for homework. So let me stop this. So for homework, you have Smallser Fragments, exercise 7, and Crickets. Go to your Google Classroom and check that you can find both. The Smallser. Smallser is something that we have already worked on. So you should have somewhere in your computer or your device, you have the file. But we didn't do exercise 7. And Crickets is new.
Yes, teacher, I can see both.
Okay.
Okay. So this is going to be for homework. Tomorrow we have to check fragments, questions, and again, review a little bit of relative clauses to be ready for the exam on Thursday. Okay?
Okay.
Well, that's all for today. Thank you very much. See you
Thank you.
Thank you, teacher.
Thank you, teacher.
See you.
Teacher, bye.
See you, teacher.
Bye. Take care. The same to you. Bye-bye. Take care.